Store manager's job.
All right, it's time for the paper review now. Let's get into what the papers are saying across Nigeria today. We have a journalist and social commentator that regularly joins us here, Charles Idaho. Charles, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, thanks.
Really?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, we start off, of course, with the Nation newspapers. Osinbajo tackles Obasanjo IBB, Jonathan over oil cash. VP flays spending on infrastructure and restructuring won't solve our problem. Of course, Vice President Osinbajo was speaking there in Minnesota, in the U.S. And there's actually a breakdown of how past administrations actually earned from crude oil.
And how they also spent.
Yeah, and how they spent.
And then we don't seem to see anything that the money the funds were used for. But the only way I quarrel with him, with his submission, is where he attempted, not even attempted, where he said that restructuring should not be geographically minded. I have quarrel with that.
He speaks more of fiscal.
Exactly. He's talking about economy and so on. Yeah, but I mean, the economists are also domiciled in geographies. Okay, geographic locations. If, for instance, now if Nigeria is earning so much money, and then this money is what the process of the money, for instance, when you now begin to see development in one aspect of the country, one particular geographical location of the country, I mean, people will quarrel. That's what I'm saying, that it needs to spread. But how do you spread the earnings is when you begin to take, into cognizance all these geographical locations that make up the entity called
Nigeria. The Vice President's point is, look, it's not really the restructuring of Nigeria that is the core issue here. The point is, how have we used the resources that we've had over the years?
I will still, what I'm saying is that if the government, successive government had taken absolute need for them to drive the issue of fiscal federalism, we won't be talking about restructuring. That's what I'm telling you. If you're earning money, then the federalism is imbalanced. I mean, people will always talk about it.
Now, there are elements in all of these because the geography of it matters, the economy of it matters, and all of that.
But they're all related.
They're all related because the point there is because the point there is no, it's not even about which comes first.
I think they complement
because
which leads to the other. If you have
they all
geography first. Because if you don't have geography, you won't talk about economy. Because it is when you have a geographical location before you can begin to pursue economy.
Okay. But to me, they all connect as far as I'm concerned.
But they are also complementary too.
Yeah, they're very complementary.
Yes, exactly.
Because the point there is every geography has a comparative advantage.
And that's part of exactly. So, but what you do with the advantage is what matters. So if you now have a comparative advantage, then you make so much from it, then you don't get the feel,
value for
then there's a problem.
But he makes a point that the part of the country that's calling for restructuring is the oil-bearing part of the country.
And so what
While
is wrong
on
with
the
that?
other hand,
that's what I'm saying.
Those who don't have oil are saying no to restructuring because those who bear the oil, those who have the oil are saying more or less we're not ready to share. And those who don't...
No, it's not about being registered. I give you an example. Sometime in 2000, I can't remember exactly what time, that they brought in people from the Niger Delta, boys to Abuja, and they saw so much. They saw paved roads, they saw streets, they saw lights, and they saw glittering of... So they said, oh, you mean that this is what money from the belly of the soil is doing? So that's what I'm saying, that they're not saying they can't share, but at least also develop their area.
Okay. All right, and Leah Sharibu, parents confirm voice. Buhari won't rest until all are released. I remember the girl, Christian girl.
But I mean, it appears she had been forgotten.
And
the media appears to be silent.
This video or audio,
audio.
Proof of life, right? Okay, thankfully. Maybe we can start from there. All right, Lagos PDP chair or audio.
Audio.
Proof of life, right? Okay, thankfully, maybe we can start from there. All right, Lagos PDP chair, EXCO defects to APC. When the Olorioko defects, what can the rest of the family do, really? And plots to fuel farmers' herders clash in Plateau. U.S. Senator McCain for burial September 2, of course, one of the greatest American...
Can we talk about this issue of defection of the Olorioko, as you call it? The Olorioko
in Lagos, of the PDP in Lagos.
You see, I think we need to truly look at our democracy, look at our party structure, look at the system of the way we run things around here, and begin to encourage the issue of ideologies. Because you, like McCain, for instance, a Republican, right? He's been there for a long time.
Yes.
30 years.
I hardly hear in Britain where people just cross over from Labour to
But the
Liberal
other
and so on.
argument, the other argument is that ideology has to be built over time. We don't have that
20
over
years
time.
is not over time?
No, we don't have that over time yet. Because
20
the point,
years,
because the point, no, really. Because if, to be fair to Nigeria, if we talk about the Republican and Democrats, those parties have existed for centuries.
Okay, can I also
If you go to the UK,
Yes.
in their parliament,
the
House of
Liberal,
Commons,
all of them, yeah,
they've existed for centuries.
Okay,
so we can talk about ideologies in that regard.
Upon which were they upon what policies and ideologies were built? What we are looking at, for instance, now why would, for instance, I'm just saying, why would the head of a party in a state, such an exalted position, wanting to move to the other? He's not going to the other to become the chairman. He's going to be playing second fiddle, third fiddle, or fourth fiddle. Now, the reason is that once your party is out of government, in terms of economy, nothing comes to you, nothing comes to your pocket. So, which is what? No, that's what I'm saying. That's not ideology. We need to begin to look at how, whether your party is in government, is not in government, you begin to grow that party.
Yeah, but in building that level of ideology we are talking about,
you think it will take time?
We must. No, it mustn't even take time.
50 years, 100 years?
No, it mustn't take that kind of time. But these defections now need to take place so that we see the way not to do it.
Okay.
But even as the thing are
Good
taking
point,
place,
but then
are we
again-
seeing how not to do it?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
No, we are saying
that's
We
the
are only
point.
talking.
You
We are
make
only
a
talking.
very good point.
The players are not talking about it.
Yes, but it really needs to happen, because even at the state level, the Olorioko you talked about, there are bigger Oloriokos who have been national chairmen of political parties that have defected.
Like the
Barnabas Gemade had defected. He was one-time chairman of PDP.
Alimodu
Alimodu Sharif had defected. He was one-time chairman
Something Ali, I can't remember that Ali the first time.
Even Audu Ogbe, who is a member of the APC now, was one-time chairman of PDP.
But
They've all defected at one time
So
or
the
the
point
other.
is,
The vice
what
president
kind-
of this country
why-
had
why
what
people
kind
still
of
living this?
foundation are we laying now? Are we laying the right foundation for that ideology
That's a good
to
question.
be built upon?
That's a good question.
Okay. The
Okay,
point-
let's move on. Okay, now Trump under attack for Buhari lifeless comment.
For me, I said we should just ignore that because it was made in passing as far back as April this year. But the one I would choose to take is where he praised Buhari to high heavens, where he said things are happening, the man is fighting corruption. That's the one I want to take.
Yeah.
The one he made in passing, which I think Financial Times was saying that now
Financial
assumed
Times.
it. Now assumed it. It's not necessary.
Well,
it's not necessary for me. It was just the same way that was it Cameron that said, who was that?
Fantastically.
There's fantastically. I mean, it was
corrupt.
also made in passing. So
Yeah.
we should not take all those things that made in passing as
if we
as
beam
gossip.
searchlight to government houses in across...
Do you know the gossip? Do you know whatever it says?
Exactly. It happens
So
everywhere.
do we need to be
These are
bringing gossip
private
and
statements
things in the past?
here and there.
Well,
All right,
it
let's
shows
move
you
to...
leaders have to be careful what they say. It's as
Let's
simple
move...
as that.
But they're also humans.
But they're also humans.
That's all humans.
But again, you also
We
look
have-
at how did he come out? It's through his aides.
Exactly. These are private discussions.
It's not necessary.
All right, Daily Sun. Now, I think we're through with the... Okay, we're through with the nation.
with
Daily
that.
Sun now says how trouble was averted in 2015 polls. Abdul Salami says his committee persuaded Jonathan to respect peace pacts. Remember the effort at that time.
I read it. I said, is it necessary for us to... The man accepted, and today we've moved
simple
on.
as ABC.
Who told him to accept? Who persuaded? It's not necessary anymore.
Okay. Let's move on.
All right. Igbo youths roar over 2023 presidency, demand Buhari's explanation, Tinubu's alleged plot, threaten to mobilize against APC in 2019 polls.
Igbo should be very careful. The Igbo country should be very careful. You know why I say so? It is the politics that are being played in Southeast is where they put all their eggs in one basket. It doesn't help. In Yoruba land, for instance, you see a husband in APC, a wife in PDP. Okay? And they find if something comes from PDP, the wife brings home. If something, but in Igbo, and it's usually easier to
But
know
the
who
same
the
Igbo
voting
are
party.
accused of Igbo meaning that the Igbos do not rally
Igbo had to
around
have
any
they had
particular
to
person.
Yes.
they have to have Eze now the essay I want to have is that
Each
spread out.
But there are essays already. Okay. But the point there is the Igbo people are generally egalitarian. They
are not anymore. Now
no, they have no, but they have always been.
They've only
that is their culture.
Politically, they are not.
No. But that's how it has been. That is why there are always factions. Even IPOB has a faction. Masop has a faction.
What I'm saying, if you consider, Mike, when you consider the voting pattern of 2015, it was easy to determine the voting. I mean, where their pendulum swung, which is what I'm saying. They should spread it. Let it integrate. Break from that cocoon. Some of you join ACN, APC. Some of you join. So don't just begin to hold on to one. That's what I'm saying.
There should be a clearinghouse where Igbos decide, look, this is the strategy. If we're going to go anywhere near,
let us spread out. So that when there's something
they spread out like that, they're going to spread out lean.
You know, we're not following the producer's call. New Telegraph, Buhari fit, lively, not lifeless. FG, U.S. President openly commended Buhari in Washington, like you said.
Yes.
That is the part
that's
that
you
actually want to take. All right, the National Bureau of Statistics says Nigeria's GDP drops to 1.5% in second quarter, and non-oil sector drives growth by 2.05%. Figures.
But the first quarter I said we had an increase. Is it a pendulum that is swinging?
It is a pendulum that is swinging. Yeah, it is really swinging.
Okay.
Homosexual. I was lured with U.S. visa promise, and that's a suspect speaking there.
So to apply what trade over there? Homosexuality?
Well.
Okay, but I don't know.
All right. INEC will redesign. That's the bottom column of the New Telegraph there. We will redesign polling units to curb vote buying. Okay, well, the design of the polling units actually
will be interesting to know how it's going to work out.
Okay, we'll find out.
Yeah,
okay.
Obviously it's going to work out somehow.
Yes,
but the more concern is the vote buying that takes place even before the day.
No, even weeks before then.
Yeah, exactly.
What they know is that if a politician knows that he's not going to be strong in K2, for instance, he goes in there and buys off all the things and then
all right. Let's move on now. The Vanguard newspaper is next. Yeah. Outcry as lawyers, others blast Buhari on rule of law remarks. Lawyers are Fanifere, PDP, others knock Buhari, say rule of law foundation for national interest. Senators also react to this. Well, a lot of criticism for that statement.
Yeah, I think it was those who wrote that script didn't do the president well. I also look at this is why I also look when we are communication is very, very important. I keep mentioning the every time.
Hold your bullets.
Okay, let me not waste it on that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
Thank you.
Oil sector depresses Nigeria's second quarter 2018 GDP, and nobody can Islamize Nigeria, SGF assures Christians. I think this issue has been really overflogged when it comes to the concept of Islamizing Nigeria.
Even the clergy.
Nigeria is a country.
The clergy is not helping
Muslims and Christians. We've come to stay. We're almost 50-50, and we're going to be here for
the clergy is not having matters.
Don't you think Nigeria is tilting towards the precipice, really, where a nation like ours is divided between political lines, between along political lines,
religious,
along
ethnic, and all of that,
and ethnic, colorations and what have you? How does that really add up to the benefits or
no, but originally,
they are using this.
Originally, that's the beauty of who we are. Originally, that's the beauty of who we are.
Diversity is not death threat. Diversity is not death sentence. But the question: how are you able to harness this diversity for growth?
For good.
That's what is missing here.
We'll get there.
America, you have African American, Japanese American, but you find that they are all moving towards the same direction.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. National Assembly approves Buhari's 143 billion naira request, and Fani Kayode writes,
right?
Yeah, exactly, to 143 now. Yeah. We'll be talking about that certainly. Fani Kayode writes IGP over police summons and published names of lecturers sanctioned for sexual harassment. The NUC is telling VCs there. And on demolition in Ibadan, we want Ajimobi's promise documented. Ayefele is saying that.
Okay. So that another governor does not wake up tomorrow and decide to structure. All right, the Daily Trust, of course, is our last paper this morning. APC, National Working Committee caucus, decide mode of primaries today. Of course, we'll await that.
Is it going to be delegate or is it going to be direct?
I heard they had adopted, at that time, they said they are going to go the way of direct primaries.
Yeah.
We in the media should help them hype it. because direct primary will help. Direct primary will also give power to us, who are even the electorate. Because you know why? When they're able to do this direct primary, whoever emerges will be a candidate that has been chosen.
A popular candidate.
Popularly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, National Assembly panel settles on 143 billion naira for 2019 elections. Oil sector slows GDP to 1.50%. You have a standalone picture there of the Vice President speaking to Nigerians in diaspora right there in Minnesota, Minneapolis, USA. Lagos PDP chairman, others defect to APC. Leah Sharibu, presidency awaits DSS investigation on audio clip. Of course, you know that her parents have actually confirmed
yes,
that
they
the
say
voice
that
is
it's truly is the voice
Yeah,
of
they
the girl.
An applicant dies in a Ikoyi passport office. Now, talking about the stress
Who
to
died?
get an applicant. An applicant.
It can be stressful sometimes,
Yes,
really,
it
when
can
you
be
go to
stressful.
get your...
Be honestly, when I witnessed it sometime in 2005 or so, when I went there, I was lucky because being a media man, we went straight to the PRO's office. But the queue, people practically sleep there.
It's really
And
sad.
many times
does it
you go
have
there,
to
they
be
say
that
they don't
hard?
have the booklet.
Does it
You
have
have
to be
to
that
wait
difficult?
forever.
I mean, you
Yeah.
have to do a capture, you have to do this from once. It doesn't have to be that difficult. Can't we just apply even online? Then you send certain things, then you now come for verification. It should be-
and capturing
and
or
capture,
via
that's all.
data,
Okay,
as the case
let's
may
leave
be.
it there.
All right.
Thank you very much, Charles Sideho.
Thank you.
We'll, of course, be holding you back as we look at the next topic, of course, and it has